The hum is the first thing you notice. Not a sound exactly, a pressure. It lives in your chest before it reaches your ears. You are sitting in a chair bolted to the floor, headphones clamped over both ears, and the only light in the room is the green glow of a screen 6 inches from your face. You have not seen the sun in 11 days. You will not see it again for weeks. You are a sonar technician aboard a United States Navy submarine, somewhere beneath the surface of an ocean you cannot name out loud, even to your own family once you get home. Submarines on deployment routinely stay submerged for 60 to 90 days at a time, sometimes longer, surfacing only when absolutely necessary. For that entire stretch, this room, this chair, and this screen are your entire world. Your job sounds simple when you say it out loud. You listen. That's it. You listen to the ocean, and you tell the rest of the crew what's out there. But listening underwater is nothing like listening above it. Down here, sound is the only sense that works. There is no periscope view most of the time. No window, no radar bouncing off anything. Just sound, traveling through black water, arriving in your headphones as a smear of frequencies that your brain has to turn into a picture. Most people assume submarines use active sonar, pinging the water and waiting for an echo, like in the movies. You almost never do that. An active ping is like shouting your exact location into a dark room. Instead, you run passive sonar almost all the time, which means you simply listen, using sensitive underwater microphones called hydrophones mounted along the hull. No ping, no signal sent out. Just your ears, electronically extended into miles of black water, picking apart a wall of noise. What does that wall of noise actually sound like? Whales, for one. A lot of whales. You learn to recognize the moans of humpbacks, the clicks of sperm whales hunting in the deep, the way dolphins chatter in short, excited bursts. Sailors call all of this biologics, anything alive making noise in the water. You also hear shrimp. Actual shrimp, millions of them, snapping their claws in reef beds, producing a constant crackling static that experienced sonar techs learn to filter out almost without thinking. Can you imagine learning to ignore an entire ocean of shrimp just so you can hear what matters underneath it? Then there's the mechanical noise. Merchant ships overhead, their propellers turning at a steady rhythm you can almost set a watch to. Distant tankers. A fishing trawler dragging its nets. And somewhere, possibly, another submarine quieter than anything else in the water, moving with intention, trying just as hard not to be heard as you are trying to hear it. Your screen shows what's called a waterfall display, a scrolling column of frequency lines that drips downward like a slow-motion stock ticker made of sound. Every contact leaves a signature on it, a particular pitch, a particular rhythm, a particular kind of mechanical hum, unique to its engine or its propeller blades. You are trained, often at the Naval Submarine School in Groton, Connecticut, to recognize hundreds of these signatures by ear and by eye, sometimes before the system's computer has even flagged them. The machine helps, but your ears, after enough months at sea, often catch things first. A normal watch starts the same way every time. You relieve the sonar tech before you, who briefs you on every contact currently being tracked, bearing, estimated range, classification, how long it's been held. You sit down. You put on the headphones. You start listening, and you do not stop really for the next 6 hours. Most of the watch is quiet. Not silent, never silent, but uneventful. You track the same merchant ship for 2 hours as it slowly passes overhead. You note when the trawler changes course. You log a pod of dolphins moving north. The room is warm, lit only by instrument glow, and time stops behaving the way it does on the surface. There is no sunrise, no sunset. Just the ship's clock, dividing your life into 6-hour watches, day after day, week after week. Then, sometimes, something changes. A new tonal appears on your waterfall display, a frequency line that wasn't there a minute ago. It's faint, almost buried in the noise floor. Your hand moves to adjust the gain before your mind has even finished registering what you saw. You narrow the bearing. You listen harder, isolating the signature, comparing its rhythm against the library of known contacts in your head. Is it a biologic? A merchant vessel running an unusual engine? Or is it something quieter, something deliberate, something that doesn't want to be found? This is the moment the entire job exists for. Your heart rate climbs, but your voice has to stay flat when you report it to the conning officer, because panic in your voice spreads through a submarine faster than any sound through water. You call out the bearing. You call out your initial classification, hedged with appropriate uncertainty, because being wrong in either direction, crying wolf, or missing something real, carries real consequences. The room around you goes a little quieter, a little more focused. Every set of eyes that matters is suddenly, briefly, on your screen. And then, usually, it resolves. A biologic after all, or a merchant ship with a worn bearing in its propeller shaft, producing an unfamiliar rattle. The tension breaks. Life on the boat exhales and returns to its slow rhythm. But for those few minutes, you were the only thing standing between the crew and the unknown, and everyone on board knew it. What does this job cost you? Sunlight. Obviously, vitamin D deficiency is common enough among submariners that crews are sometimes issued supplements before deployment. Your sense of time erodes too. Without a sunrise to anchor it, your body starts drifting, and many submariners describe a strange disorientation in the first week back on the surface. Blinking in daylight that suddenly feels too bright, too loud, too much. There's also the isolation. No phone calls home. No internet. Messages, when they come at all, are short, delayed, and filtered. You miss birthdays. You miss births. You come home to children who have grown in ways you only heard about secondhand weeks after it happened. And there's a quieter cost, one sonar techs rarely talk about even to each other. The sounds stay with you. Years after leaving the Navy, many former sonar operators report still hearing the ocean in moments of silence, a phantom hum, a half-imagined waterfall display scrolling behind their eyes when they're trying to fall asleep. You spend so many months training your brain to find the signal inside the noise that the habit doesn't simply switch off when you walk off the boat. So why do people stay? Why do sonar techs re-enlist, deployment after deployment, when the job means losing the sun, losing time, losing the ordinary texture of being on land? Ask most of them, and they won't talk about patriotism or adventure. They'll talk about the headphones. About the strange, total focus of those few minutes when an unknown contact appears on the waterfall and the entire safety of the boat narrows down to what you can hear and how fast you can understand it. There is a kind of competence that only exists in that chair, built from thousands of hours of listening to an ocean most people will never know, exists beneath the waves they swim in on vacation. Outsiders imagine submarines as places of constant danger, alarms blaring, crews rushing through corridors. The reality is mostly stillness, long, careful, disciplined stillness, built around the idea that the quietest boat survives. The job isn't about reacting to chaos. It's about preventing chaos from ever starting by hearing it 3 minutes before anyone else would. You surface, eventually. Months later, the hatch opens, and daylight hits your face for the first time in what feels like a different life. Your eyes water immediately, painfully, at something as ordinary as the sun. Somewhere behind you, in the now empty sonar room, the hum of the boat continues exactly as it did the day you first sat down in that chair. Except now, you understand exactly what that hum has always been protecting.